Trying to be a legend in the rap game, like Ric Flair was to wrestling. Ain't no question, I'm trying to be a big name. Got them laying on the mat where I left them. Everybody want to be rich and famous. They want a house on the hill, no payments. I've been working hard, hear it in the dialogue. Figure for a leg like to anybody thinking that I'm wasted. Any of my time, better send a sign. Everybody telling me I'm crazy, but I'm borderline. Swear I got them killing shit whenever I decide to rhyme. Walking by in my shoes, sight, you ain't feeling mine. Been in the studio all week, trying to hop on my dick, but there's no need. Bitch, you wasn't with me, woo, chopping in the ring. Not the time, cause it's mine, get a timepiece.
Future Entertainment right here, and we're back with Future of Wrestling Podcast. I'm Logan Myers, your host, and my co-host for tonight, as always, basically on Next Level, but it's a big reunion tonight. And Travis from Habiki TMD, how are you today, sir?
It's been a minute. What's going on, Logan?
I know it's been a minute since we've done a show together, but we are back for Next Level.
We are. It's good to be back. Good to catch an episode of NeXT on a day off of work in real life, and good to do this once again here with you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on, Travis. And again, where can they check you out on Twitter? If we have some new people in the chat, where can they check you out?
As always, follow me on Twitter at @HabikiTMD. Check me out, Habiki TMD, YouTube. All sorts of goodness. Retro gaming, pro wrestling. We got your fix. Get your kicks right here.
I like that. Is that a new for you?
No, I just made it up.
You just made it up.
Yeah. It happens. It happens when you come off of a good wrestling program and puts you in good spirits and the creative juices get flowing. And that's what happens with NXT. It always puts me in good spirits.
Yes, all the time when it comes down to it now, like NXT is now like our baby when it comes to having a good time for once.
Yeah, I mean, it's not always perfect by any means. And let's play catch up real quick, Logan, because we have missed a couple weeks. Basically, what's been going on? It hasn't all been perfect, but I feel like it's the closest thing maybe we have to a quote ECW in the modern era, where it's like hours don't fuck with it. It feels pure, and it's not spoiled yet, because everybody that goes to the main roster gets spoiled like milk.
Yep. And most of the time it seems like even on like me going to like an indie show on a Saturday night, sometimes it's better than what the main roster gives you. And yep. NXT feels like that nowadays, and it's actually felt like that since day one ish.
Not day one-ish. Ever since it started being on the network with the takeovers, we've seen NXT grow to what? My God! Now the news today, Logan. Get right into it. It's a huge news for NXT.
Yes, you were just telling me before we went on that NXT is now going to be a part of the whole contract to do with SmackDown and Fox, right?
Now, I haven't seen this confirmed, so to cover our asses, Logan, I'm about 80%. I've seen it from tons of reliable sources and my own co-host on a show I do called Union Smack, Matt. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's set in stone, though. Like, it's a go.
And finally, we actually are, getting NXT on a main show now.
Yeah, I mean, they had that one-off special on USA. It was a success. It did well, if I remember correctly.
I think it did better numbers than Raw and SmackDown, or close enough.
And if anything, it was numbers enough to make them happy. Maybe that was a tester. Who knows? It gets tricky. It gets confusing when all this business stuff gets into it. At least from me, from my perspective, because at the end of the day, I try not to look at wrestling back to that. It's pure thing. We love it, Logan. Like, I hate that. The corporate infection of what's become, but blah blah blah. Yeah, it's great for them. The WWE, it came out today too. Also, Logan, this is the highest their stock has ever been in the history.
Wow.
And possibly the lowest the quality of programming on TV has been since '95. But that's, I guess, take the good with the bad.
There's always good and there's always bad. It seems like.
That's life, my friend. What do you think about the Fox deal? You think it's going to pan out? And see, you were telling me off air, you think this could overtake, in a way, eclipse Raw as far as like the main if this goes off without a hitch, as popular as we've seen NXT just with that niche market, it could prove a lot of people wrong in saying it's just for a niche market. It could go mainstream, and I feel like the roster isn't what it used to be, but there's still so much talent there, and we'll get to it tonight in the review. But my God, just Ricochet is meant to just attract all kinds of children to like him. You know what I mean? I know that sounds wrong, but I mean like kids thinking he's cool. So.
Yeah, I think any fan is a fan of Ricochet now. Like, no matter what. I mean, he's had fans for years, wanting him to come to the WWE. And now that he's in NXT, it just brings a whole new level to the playing field. And this also gives him his next level of stardom, finally. And he is becoming a big fan favorite.
We saw the tweets this week. Him and Velveteen Dream getting praise from The Rock and John Cena on Twitter. Both men getting praised by both of those guys.
Yep, and then I know you saw where John Cena actually had like a interview or something. He straight up said, if he had to pick one person from NXT that he would want to go down to NXT and face, it's Velveteen Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said it might piss a lot of people off that he said that, but I see where he's coming from.
Yeah, how could you not? A blind man could see. Stevie Wonder could see, as they love to say.
And I think for Velveteen Dream, I mean, I know there's a lot of John Cena haters out there, but if you're getting a blessing from a guy like John Cena, then that's huge,
Hey, you know what? I equate John Cena okay, say you work at a restaurant, Logan. It's business, okay? These guys, yes, it's their dream, but they're making the most money they've ever made. I equate John Cena to at a restaurant. He's like a manager, whereas there's the main manager, Vince. He's just like a shift manager. So he started out as an employee, but he worked his way up to management. You know what I mean? So that's definitely the guy you want to get a praise from as a manager, and then blah, blah, blah. He goes to the big wigs. That's what that is to me. That's great news for the Dream. And that, for as young as he is, we always talk about, my God, the potential, if everything goes as planned. A lot of people say they're going to silly him and they're going to fuck him up. And yes, I get the point, because it seems like they've mishandled everybody. But that they mess him up. I don't know. I really think all faith is lost, because he can't miss as an IC guy. Hell, as a world title guy. He's just money to me. And it seems like a Velveteen Dream podcast now, but I agree. I can't think of any other guy. And Ricochet and Aleister Black are tremendous talent, some of the best in the world. But Dream is it right now. He's just firing on all cylinders. The people get it. It's organic. It wasn't meant to get over either, I feel like. This was meant to just be like a shitty gimmick, if you remember debuting Logan. I think it surprised the company how goddamn over it got. And it only got this over because he's so good.
Exactly. He is that good. And it's crazy where he's came from. And personally, I've actually went to independent shows where Velveteen Dream has been at.
Yeah. MCW, Patrick Clark, all that stuff.
Yes, Patrick Clark, when he teamed up with, little do people know, Leo Rush.
Yep.
Also want to shout out in the chat, Kuzan's in there. He says, hey, how's things going, guys?
My boy!
What up, Kuzan?
What's up, man? Thanks for stopping by.
It's been a while since I've seen Kuzan lately. It's good to see him. It's good to see
him.
One part
of Slam Pigs podcast, cheap plug. Look at that.
Yeah, cheap plug. And Kuzan's always saying, if you need somebody, just hit him up. He's always available. Most of the time. When he's not busy. I understand. But, for me, yes, there's some things that I could say about the guy, personally, but I'm going to let that slide, and I'm going to literally say Velveteen Dream is a future star in the WWE. And I know a lot of people will say, well, he'll be a future star until he goes to the main roster. I don't see. I don't see, like, most of the guys that went up to the main roster. Yes, some of them have not shined like they should have.
You know why?
And why is that, Travis?
Because their gimmicks were straight up their gimmicks on the indies. Just a guy like Velveteen Dream, that gimmick is tailor-made for WWE. WWE made that gimmick. That's why I feel like it'll come off a lot better.
Yeah. It will come off. And like, yes, you can argue that there is some guys that went to the main roster and you're just questioning how and why are they this way. The Ascension. Number one. Booked wrong in the WWE since they left NXT. Like, I don't know who it is or what they saw in them, but the gimmick just didn't work. I don't see that with Velveteen Dream for some reason, even though we didn't see that also with the Ascension to begin with. But for some reason, I just see, like, this gimmick could actually work in Velveteen Dream's favor for once.
If it's booked right, it will. And that's the big if. And I got to kind of stand corrected when I always say, like, everybody's kind of been ruined when they go to the main roster. The one I feel like, even though she's not really doing anything now, but she's had a hell of a run since being on the main roster, is Alexa Bliss. I feel like she totally broke through mainstream. Little girls wear her shit now. You know what I mean? Everyone she's kind of a household name, I want to say, to wrestling fans now. She's mainstream to wrestling fans. But yeah, she was kind of the opposite in NXT. She was the background to Blake and Murphy. She did the Sparkle Princess thing gimmick. She was never what she was now, and it's like the opposite with her. Like, you never saw that potential until it was there in your face, I feel like, on the main roster. Yeah. But she's the one. I feel like and that's sad, because you got Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Shinsuke, Bobby Roode, and she's the one and she was an if, like a maybe at that, so.
She was an if. Like, Alexa Bliss has come full circle from her time with NXT to what she has become now. And what was it, glitter, or like what was it when she was in NXT? Wasn't it like glitter that she threw or something?
No, she came out dressed as like a ballerina fairy, and she had glitter in her hands, and she'd like blow a kiss on the stage, and that would blow the glitter, and that was it. And then she just got her ass kicked because she was kind of a jobber. Yeah,
like, for me, Alexa Bliss, and a guy that was never really shown on NXT much at all. I don't even remember him being on NXT. Braun Strowman.
He was part of Adam Rose's conga line.
That was it.
Yep.
And look what he has become in WWE. I think he's became a bigger star than what we thought Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura had.
Most definitely. And that's just the crazy world of wrestling, right? You never know. You never know.
I mean, lately, I'll be honest with you, I've become a Finn Balor fan. Lately. His matches the last 2 weeks against Braun Strowman on Raw was really good.
I like that they're giving him some edge, and he's not smiling all the goddamn time now that we talked about. Something.
Exactly. He slapped the Braun Strowman. Like, he's showing more, which that's what he needs. And I know we're not supposed to talk about main roster, but this is NXT. They came from NXT, so that's why we're talking about them. We're telling you exactly why, Velveteen Dream, our opinions is, will he be a Finn Balor, or will he be a Braun Strowman? I think another female that I don't think is anything like what she should have been, like what she was in NXT, is, for some reason, Asuka just does not. I don't know why. It just doesn't click with me.
I kind of thought that would happen with Asuka, not gonna lie. As much as I loved her run in NXT, I always had that big if about when she made it to the main roster, just the transition to casuals, and you're right. I don't think it's going off like they thought it would.
I mean, I think, I mean, when she first, I think we both agreed that the streak definitely needed to end at some point, and I think it was the right time, because I think it might actually save Asuka in the long run.
Looking back now, it wasn't the right time. She should have won at Mania. Looking back, because she has the title match, right, at Money in the Bank, and she's got no momentum. No. Nobody's talking about her right now. They're talking about indie girls they just signed, Toni Storm and that other girl from Japan. They're not talking about Asuka. She's already cooled off so much, and I think it is, dare I say, when she lost at Mania, I think that was the wrong call. As much of a fucking fan I am of Charlotte, she hasn't been on the main roster that long. You needed to establish Asuka. Charlotte's been established like fuck since 2015 when she came to the main roster. People know who she is. She's a success too from NXT, I should say. Sorry about that. Yeah, just boneheaded decision now. Looking back, we can see the result of that now. Because I mean, Charlotte's been injured. It's not her fault she doesn't have a momentum right now. But it's different.
No, she's been dealing with a lot of stuff. I mean, even her boob implant exploded and needed surgery.
If you want a baby face and you want to do it the way they were trying to do it with Asuka, like they did with Goldberg, you got to make the people believe in you. And that was the biggest stage for the first time. That's the key word here. The first time Asuka had been on a stage like that, and she let her fans down. And I don't care what people say, the kayfabe is dead and all that. There's some of that left in wrestling where you don't want to book people like that. And I feel like it still is true today as it was in the 90s and 80s, when that could affect people booked the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah, and Kuzan says in the chat, Velveteen will survive if he's allowed to survive. Sadly, I hope he survives better and keeps his full character. And he also says Alexa has a sad story, so the company prey upon that. I'm glad they do it, but it feels dirty.
Yeah, Alexa's so good. She's way too good to be having bulimia segments about her real life stuff or bully angles. Yeah, I agree. Totally.
But at the same time, I think those were probably the best segments we've had in a while.
But what did it lead to? Now Nia Jax is a heel. This isn't main roster show though. That's a whole other.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to get sour because they're here to talk NXT.
Rage DMX 47 is in the chat. Welcome, sir. He says Charlotte with boob implants ? I would like to think that she wouldn't need them.
I would like to think by now, as long as AJ Styles has been in the company, they would actually have DMX come out at WrestleMania and help with his entrance. So, cool name. Thanks for stopping by. I love DMX.
Yeah, well, he rages upon DMX 47. I like that. No, but for back to Velveteen. We saw this tonight. I guess we can just, since we're on the Velveteen, we can just talk about Ricochet had his match tonight. He had a match one-on-one, middle of the show, well, close to the end of the show, and he had a match against
Donovan Dijak, the big European star, and now Chris Dijak.
Yeah, Chris Dijak, and he's tall as fuck. He's good.
He's damn good.
He was really good in this match against Ricochet, and that is one thing that impresses me the most about Ricochet is I think you could put anybody, any size, against Ricochet, and the match is going to feel like he's still facing somebody that is, like Rey Mysterio or Finn Balor.
And Chris Dijak, Donovan Dijak, whatever he's called now, he reminds me, just his look and everything, like if Mojo Rawley had talent, is him.
That is true. That's one flop from NXT that just keeps on flopping. It's like,
and I hated him when he was in NXT. When he was still wrestling NXT, I always hated that character. It's just I don't ever want people to think I hate him as a person. Just that gimmick is just so cringe. It always has been.
I mean, his character, his gimmick's different now. Since he's heel, but it's still, to me, it's a big time flop.
It's even worse now because now it makes no sense. He was supposed to be the big, lovable, goofy guy. Fucking get hyped, and now he's like, I'm bad. So now it's like, all right, now you're just boring because you have no gimmick now because we turned you heel for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. Kuzan says, can I just say NXT struggles to being fresh and being in fresh talent and getting over alongside these indie darlings like EC3, Austin Aries, Ricochet.
I don't think so. I don't think so yet. Austin Aries, I could say yes. I would check that off the list as a failed experiment. Something just didn't translate well with Austin Aries in NXT. Now, when he went to 205 Live, it was working. I liked his little feud with Neville. But then, we all know what happened. But you're right. When he was NXT, he was always losing to, like, Hideo Itami and guys. But Ricochet right now, I got to totally disagree. I feel like that's their guy. That's one of their golden geese right now. Yeah. And plus, we're seeing them take risks with new talent at the same time, because I feel like Triple H or whoever, Shawn Michaels now is a producer. We saw that script leaked out this week with Shawn Michaels. It seems like produces every Adam Cole segment. But I feel like they're still smart enough to know they always need to build new guys and keep a fresh stock of guys. Like we're seeing Sullivan get a title shot out of nowhere. And if you would have told me months ago, I kind of would have snickered at that. But Sullivan's looked tremendous lately, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah, he's come, like full circle again. A guy that... oh, Kuzan. Solomon Crow. My boy Austin Aries and Solomon Crow.
Yeah.
And then he puts he's crying right now. Oh.
Wait, he was like, this is my gimmick. I'm a hacker. And I'm going to break into your computer. That was it. That was Solomon Crow.
Oh, but what he's doing now in Impact Wrestling is
dangerous. Hitting guys in the fucking eye with bats. I mean, it's smart. They got published from TMZ, but now what? It's
that probably the biggest thing they've ever done besides the whole thing with AJ Styles and Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon with the table for three, and them actually getting, that little highlight at the end. You could check out Impact Wrestling here.
Oh, come on. TNA used to be big, kind of. It had a video game. Come on. Be fair to TNA in its glory days.
I'm trying. I mean, some of it's good nowadays still, but...
It's gotten better.
But you can also notice, speaking of Impact Wrestling, EC3. He's come, ever since he went to Impact Wrestling, I think that actually helped him. And this is why he's back in WWE.
Exactly.
Because it shows, Triple H, of course, he actually sees it.
I mean, that's a guy like Drew McIntyre that completely reinvented himself. Had to, or he wasn't going to make it in the business.
Speaking of McIntyre...
Drew!
I, for some reason... I think he's going to be that Braun Strowman in the main roster now.
Think so?
Apparently, there's a lot of people that I was reading on social media saying that he's a future champion, a future WWE and a Universal champion.
He's got all the tools, that's for sure.
And again, he went to Impact Wrestling. He did what he did, and he came back, and like you said, he reinvented himself. And I agree with...
We see it all the time, Logan. We see it all the time now.
Yeah.
The TNA memes with the roster, the main roster and NXT, and it's exactly what WCW was back in the day and stuff. When the new generation in WWF, when it was like Austin and all those guys, they came from WCW. Scott Hall, Diesel, they were nothing in WCW. Then they came to WWE. It's like what that is now, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's, and I see it. I get the memes because it's all like Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Eric Young, Bobby Roode, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, and I could keep going, but I'm not gonna because there's a lot more.
We keep mentioning names. Bobby Roode. He hasn't won a match in how long? He got so frustrated after losing to KO on Raw that I seriously think they're turning him heel. I'm calling it.
About goddamn time.
I'm calling it. He's going to get so frustrated that he's just going to turn heel. And then he can just continue the glorious. They don't need do not do to Bobby Roode what you did with Shinsuke Nakamura. Even though I think Shinsuke Nakamura's new music is badass. But just don't... You don't have to change his music. Keep it glorious. Keep him, I'm the glorious one. I'm the one. I'm the shit around here. and I'm going to show you why. And I think part of the reason why I think Velveteen Dream just, he speaks that. He speaks how, you know, I'm that guy. I'm going to be over no matter what you do. And for some reason, I know we're the biggest fans of Ricochet, but with this feud that's happening between the two, I think Velveteen Dream's going to come out the bigger star out of the feud.
Yeah, you can kind of feel it even in the people at Full Sail during the segment on the show tonight, that it was kind of organic. It felt like it was in the way of Velveteen Dream more. Until Ricochet. Are we doing that now? Are we reviewing that segment now?
Since we were talking about Velveteen.
After the match, okay, the Ricochet got the win. Tremendous match. Hit his finisher. Crazy maneuver. Just cuts a promo, pretty much calling out Velveteen Dream. Interrupts him mid-promo. Velveteen Dream comes out dressed like somebody's grandmother, but that's how good he is. He can look like a grandmother, and he can get it over. It was back and forth, blah, 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 standard. I challenge you to take over. All of a sudden, from the middle, I've never seen this in a WWE ring. I don't know if he's probably done it on the Indies, so come at me. He did a somersault plancha to the outside because the Dream was on the ramp and just landed on his feet with the microphone still in his hand, continued cutting the promo going, now what, homeboy? That's exactly what he said. Now what, homeboy? It was tremendous. And the way that Dream sold it, the look on his face, it was great. I felt like maybe they kept the camera. And Dream, let's be honest, he did the expression a little too long. It was a little, But other than that, man, that was awesome. And the crowd was like, oh, obviously.
This feud speaks Velveteen Dream versus Aleister Black all over again. I'm calling it.
To rehash that feud.
Like they're.
I think for the biggest show of the year, SummerSlam, maybe you go Ricochet and Aleister Black, and then I feel like Aleister Black makes his way in the fall to the main roster somewhere. Yeah. Maybe.
But for some reason, I feel like Velveteen Dream and like they're gonna have that match of the year candidate.
We still got Gargano and Ciampa announced for TakeOver in a street, which is weird. It's like a step down. It's like you went from unsanctioned, which anything, and now it's just a street fight. It's the same thing, right?
Well, they had to change that on the fly because of the AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura being the last man standing. Apparently, that was originally the gimmick match that was supposed to happen for Ciampa and Gargano.
Yeah.
So
I'd much rather than be having it all right now based on the AJ and Shinsuke feud.
So, but for me, when it comes to Aleister Black, Velveteen Dream and Ricochet, I can see Velveteen Dream trying to do maneuvers like Ricochet. You know how he, when he feuded with Aleister Black, he, mocked Aleister Black a lot. I think that's what he's going to try to do. I think that's what he does in most of his matches, besides the ladder match that they had.
I think because they've been building and having him say it in the promo so much, I think he's going to mimic his entrance with his music and everything and his attire. I think he's going to come out as Ricochet because he said anything you can do, I can do better. But he's going to put like his spin on it, like Ricochet outfit, but Velveteen Dream style. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
Like the hood and everything, but the hood's got like frills and it's all like girly or whatever. How he would make it,
I would love to see that. I do want to read a couple things in the chat real quick though, if it lets me scroll up for some reason. Rage DMX, I'm just gonna call him DMX from now on. DMX says, imagine if Death Juice didn't leave WWE, but Juice wouldn't be improving in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Sammy is pretty decent.
He's decent in promotions that aren't WWE because something just didn't click. For every time I saw him work any match in NXT, I always was like, is this Sami Callihan? Sorry, I tried to get behind because he is a great performer. I just feel like I don't know, man. I don't know what it was.
I guess it's just, it's like you're for example, I guess it just depends on the person if that company clicks with them or not.
People forget too, and this is a good point to bring up. So like 2011 through like 2013, 14, I want to say too. He was one of the hottest indie wrestlers in the world. Everybody was talking about Sami Callihan because he started having kick-ass matches with Finlay on the indies, and they were brutal. And then he was on fire. And then I just don't know. That's a good question. Maybe we should go back and do a special show on the Solomon Crow saga.
That'd be a good idea. That would be a good idea. Kuzan is just making me laugh on these comments. He said, "I fear for my boy, my dude McIntyre. Please don't hurt him." And then DMX says, "They may get Drew wrong a second time. Maybe not as bad as Bobby Lashley is being booked."
Hopefully Drew doesn't have any fucking sisters.
I mean, yes, that was probably one of the worst segments since This Is My Life, but I didn't mind Bobby Lashley on the mic this week against Sami Zayn. So, Kuzan says, "Bobby needs his heel gimmick. He will cut the best promos." I guess that's Bobby Roode. And then Kuzan says, "Bobby Lashley with the headband, 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, DMX says, he will need more than a headband after they Goldberged him with the shitty sister angle. Kuzan, true, 2 more headbands.
Yeah. And some scrunchies and some
yes.
helmet.
But I guess let's continue on our NXT road to NXT from this tonight. And let's start from the very beginning with Aleister Black and Lars Sullivan in-ring segment, Travis.
First time we'd ever seen somebody catch the Black Mass kick and into his finisher. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's great.
The thing that really caught my attention, that really made sense, it made things like story-wise that really caught my attention was the fact that Lars Sullivan said, you haven't seen, or nobody has seen, a guy like me, my strength and my big and bold, maneuvers and stuff besides Braun Strowman.
My big and bold maneuvers.
Well,
did he really say that?
Yes, I did. I was trying to say something, but it just wasn't calculating in the head.
I feel like Lars Sullivan is what, and people are going to laugh, but I'm serious. Lars Sullivan's what Snitsky should have been.
Oh, yes. Yes. It wasn't my fault. I swear.
Have you seen Snitsky recently?
Yes,
like the past.
The big
he
beard.
Looks great.
And
he's jacked.
He's jacked. He's legit. For some reason, and I don't know if you agree with me, but Lars Sullivan's physique reminds me so much of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it's like a melting chocolate ice cream cone or vanilla ice cream cone in a way.
Yes. But what caught my eye was him saying, you haven't seen this, anybody like me and the strength and all that. But then when he caught the Black Mass, and then all you heard was Nigel McGuinness says, he didn't even mention his speed and all that, him being that quick and stuff like that. That is just perfect commentary on the, promoting what Lars Sullivan can do, and he's not even telling you everything that he can do.
Whoever's feeding McGuinness lines on color did a great job all night. They made a line later on in the show with the War Raiders match about, and this was true also a couple years ago when he was in Ring of Honor. He was in a really bad motorcycle accident, and it made Hanson a singles in Ring of Honor. And Nigel McGuinness brought that up, how he was in a motorcycle crash. Now I don't know if he went through a windshield head first and walked away. They could have added that on, but I liked how they because they said that, but I don't know if that really happened. But I like how they made some real life in there. Made him look badass.
See, and that's also what really is good about commentary. Like, we say it all the time. Sometimes saying like real life things that happen actually clicks and helps the character and builds them even more. And I love the commentary, and I think Lars Sullivan, a lot of people don't like him on the mic. I've actually saw that on Twitter. I was like, you don't like him on the mic, but he wasn't half bad. He didn't. I mean, we've heard worse.
He did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Exactly.
Like.
He did what they told him to do, and he did it to his ability.
He's not going to win. I mean, he's not like he's going to win the belt, so at least give him this, people. Jeez.
I don't think he's going to win, but I also don't think Aleister Black's actually going to pin him or make him submit. I think something's going to happen. I think this is designed to build Aleister Black and make his finisher look even stronger. He's going to have to hit him with a couple of the Black Masses, but I think that's how he's going to get the win. In the first match, now they could have a rematch. Who knows? It could be really fucking good, and then they eventually put the belt on Sullivan. But I think the first one, Black takes it. See,
because you're still building him. He's kind of a new champion too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's a new champion, but you also have been building Lars Sullivan up so well as this monster.
But where's the money? At the end of the day, you're booking. Where do you see more money? And I feel like you got to take care of your investments first, especially when they're newer in the title with the title reign.
Yeah, and he hasn't had it long, and we just don't. I don't want to see Aleister Black only have the title for that long, because it just reminds me too much of Shinsuke Nakamura.
No, I'm sticking to my guns. I feel like he'll be on the main roster by the fall this year.
Survivor Series?
Something, yeah, I really do. I feel like that he's going to wind down after SummerSlam time.
I can agree with that. I can. But, so your prediction is Aleister Black actually hits him with the Black Mass a couple times and actually wins.
Maybe the last Black Mass that he gets to win with, he has to stand off of like the second rope or the top rope and he has to hit it. That would be badass.
If that happens and you predict that correctly, I'm going to...
You owe me $1. How's that?
Well, I was going to say something stupid, but I'm not going to do it because there's no way I can do it anymore nowadays.
You want to challenge my booking predictions?
I am not going to do no wing challenge again, I can tell you that. There's no way in hell. Well, at least for this NXT show, we didn't get a barbecue bash or anything like that on the show. Or a dance-off.
It's a Memorial Day extravaganza, pal. For potato salad, Jesus fucking.
Potato salad made me laugh, by the way. But DMX says, I would like to say that I love Black Mass as Aleister Black's finisher name. Oh yeah, I love it. I
love his finisher in general. I love finishers that guys can hit on anybody like that and are believable. Like you would get knocked the fuck out because the way he pulls the kick is really good. Because he's they said it a bunch tonight too. They did a good job at building up his character. Go to speak about McGuinness again, saying he's like a 16-year vet, stuff like that. Yeah. Finally, the top of NXT.
Yeah, Lars actually mentioned that, and for some reason, his promo didn't really come off as a heel. It kind of came off as more of like a face for some reason in the beginning of the promo. Like, I'll give you this, I'll give you your accomplishments and stuff. That's not really what a heel does. Do you agree with that? Like,
no, I think it's fine because he attacked him afterwards, so it came off like he was full of shit. Maybe just to lure him in. You could do it that way.
I like that. Yeah.
His heels lie.
But I for some reason, do you think it's going to be a good match at TakeOver?
I do. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. I think it's good. It has a potential. I think Sullivan is he's one of the best big men in that company, dare I say.
the main thing that's gonna really intrigue me storyline wise is you know how Aleister Black sits down in the middle of the ring, you know, halfway throughout the match. Lars actually is slides into the ring. You know how when Aleister Black did it with Velveteen.
Yeah.
I for some reason see that happening. Like he's going to try to piss off Lars Sullivan. Like I don't care how big you are, I can sit down in the middle of the ring right in front of you. What are you going to do about it? And I think that's what
sucker him into a black mass that way. Just anger him by, you know, making him feel like he's insignificant.
Yeah, and as soon as he gets up, Aleister Black's already up there with his fast pace and hits the black mass right then and there. It hits him twice in a row and he doesn't fall, and then he just runs on the second rope like you said, or the top rope, and hits black mass like that and then beats him.
Or maybe he does it like John Morrison style. One of your favorite all-time guys. I know, Logan. You remember how he just did it off the rope?
Yes.
The middle rope?
Yeah. I would like that. I would like... and I hate to actually say it, but, you know, I don't know who I want to win. And because I am becoming a fan of what Lars Sullivan's been doing lately. It just, I don't know, for some reason, I don't know if it would hurt Lars Sullivan to lose to Aleister after his matches against Killian Dane, you know, him being a bigger guy and stuff. I don't know.
No, I think guys that size, they get Kane syndrome, and after you establish them as shit kickers enough. I mean, the loss to Brock didn't hurt Braun. You know what I mean? So he can't keep losing, but they gotta do what they did with Braun. If he loses to Black, the next week on NXT, he's got to come back and just tear up the backstage, do something that makes it stand out in a segment that's like, oh my god, this guy's a monster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think like you said, you don't think it's gonna hurt him, you know, losing to Black. And I don't think it's gonna hurt him because he beat Velveteen and Ricochet, even though Velveteen did walk out last week during the match. And did you see that match last week in the handicap match? What a match! I
did. That's what sucks about missing these shows, because I've been watching NXT and just haven't been able to do these shows. It was really good. I liked the little turn at the end, and I actually really enjoyed them probably way more than I should have as a tag team, because for a second there, because I didn't read the spoilers, they got me in the match. I was like, Velveteen Dream's a babyface now, because his entrance, he was, you know, pandering to the crowd more, he was smiling more and doing the fist bumps, but by the end of it, he was just a dirty heel.
And it works, and the little things works in NXT, and the main roster is missing that. Like they're not hitting that on the number like they should. And I know this is main roster, but you know the whole barbecue bash that happened on Raw. Did you know Road Dogg was actually the producer that actually you told me that you actually saw the that was leaked.
Yeah. The script was leaked this week about certain things for that segment and certain writers weren't allowed to yell at Vince directions. I was like, well, most people aren't allowed to yell at their boss. Why do you have to write it down to your employees not to yell at your boss? I think they know that. Why would they go to Vince and be like, Vince, I got this great idea. You got to check it out. You got Vince. What are you doing? Come on, check out what I did. No, you're not going to yell at him. So I thought there was so much dumb shit on there.
Yeah, you don't hear the wrestlers yelling to Jim Tunney, hey Jim, you know, you need to do this, you need to do that. You don't hear that.
Is that how you're going to yell at your kids when you're older?
Yep.
You need to do this, you need to do that, you need to get off your lazy damn ass. You're going to turn it into a song and yell at your kids on top?
Every time I yell at my kids, I'm literally going to do it in Vince McMahon voice.
Get off your ass and get a job.
Literally. And then at the end, Myers. Yep, exactly.
Like, Dad, why do you have to always say our last name? We get it. We're Myers.
Alright. I love that. Me with kids, can you imagine? But moving on.
No.
War Raiders were in action, Travis.
Yeah, speaking of God help us all, and God help the jobbers in this match, War Raiders are in the house, looking good. I mean, an enhancement match. This is a set of tapings towards the end of the tapings, so they'd already worked heavy machinery on the show, but the crowd was still, enthusiastic for the match behind them.
Man, did I like that springboard off the second rope.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Wow, I've never seen a big man do that.
I get it, guys. They did it in Japan in Ring of Honor. I didn't like it then, too. I don't like their finisher. It doesn't suit them. They need something. They need, like, fucking APA-style finisher. Something just brutal. It's a smoking guns finishing maneuver, essentially, is what they have. I didn't like it then, I don't like it now. They should just change that shit up. A double spine buster would be better than that, for fuck's sakes. Like the APA, they just picked the guy up and just stood there. That would even be better than that move they have. But you probably really like it, so tell me I'm wrong, Logan.
No, I didn't like the leg drop. For some reason, it just doesn't click with me for big guys. I get it.
We're not thinking about stuff again.
I get it. It was their maneuver before, but you're in a bigger stage now, and you need, I don't know, they do need a new finisher, but what would you give them? Anything
that I've seen from, like, I don't know what Chronic's move was. I can't believe I just said Chronic, but APA was simple. It was one of them picking him up for a powerbomb, the other guy just assisted him. But something with the powerbomb in it, something to just destroy your.
How about the powerbomb? But instead of the leg drop, he hits a cross body while getting the powerbomb.
Like your style. I don't know, excuse me while I hop on Twitter and text fucking Ronan Hansen. They need to change their finisher and see how that works out. They'll probably get blocked like the Hurricane blocked us, or not you. He didn't block you this week.
No, but do you like that idea? Like the put him in the power bomb, cross body, and then lands the power bomb as well. That would be perfect.
Me. You should ask your chat, not me.
Chat, what do you guys think? The two people watching, what do you guys think the War Raiders finisher should be? Should it stay the same, or should it be changed? Like we both agree, Travis and I. I just think. I agree. I wanted to disagree with you so much because, we always agree on stuff, but...
You're a prick, and you like to do that all the time. Just be a prick now.
But for some reason, I just don't... It does not click with me. We've seen leg drops. It's not really... we can do that move on 2K18, literally. Pretty sure we can.
I can make a statement that's impossible for you to disagree with. You ready?
Go ahead.
Ahmed Johnson was a terrible wrestler. Couldn't work for shit. Disagree with that. Find a loophole in that, Logan.
I'm not. There's no loophole.
There you go.
There's just no loophole. Oh, that's just too good.
Giant Gonzalez should have been on 205 Live. Argue that. Christ.
Oh.
Anyway.
It's funny that Ahmed Johnson's the only relevant thing that can be said is his wedgie.
Did you say Oddman Johnson?
No, Ahmed.
Oddman Johnson.
I would not say that.
You know what was really good this week? I thought it would be pretty good, but not as good as because I knew the result. Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler was really fucking good.
Yep.
What did you think? Because I'm dying to know, because you haven't told me.
I liked it because it showcased more of just, I'm not going to work just one body part. I'm going to literally stomp on every body part that you have. Am I becoming a fan of Shayna Baszler?
I think so.
Are you becoming a fan?
I'll tell you, I'm a fan of Dakota Kai. I thought she was great at selling. Her entrance needs changed. Her music, definitely. But that'll come. That always happens with NXT. It's just, it's boring. It's just like, what? She's supposed to have like an upbeat feel, I think, to her music. But other than that, and when she got her offense in, she nailed it, man. Those kicks look stiff, as they always do, because she's team kick or whatever. And I think she's money, too. I think think that women's division's pretty secure right now. Lacey Evans is great. We didn't talk about that. She got the win over Kairi Sane last week. I feel like I'm one of the few people who liked that. I liked it because she is really good. She jumps off the screen. She can work. She's got the Marine background. Physically, she's pretty big. You know, her biceps and stuff. She looks like she could knock out a man to me. You know, so thumbs up.
Yeah, the female division in NXT, we never thought after, you know, Asuka leaving, and a lot of people said Ember Moon leaving was too early.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about, and that just goes to show how many women they're focusing on right now at once. In a 1 hour show each week is the Bianca Belair vignettes they've been showing.
Yes, and that was also well produced, I thought, because it goes to say that some of the real life stuff that happens to these people actually builds the character more than you just throwing something fake out there.
Not even that. Give us a reason. What is EST? Who is she? Not just she came from the Mae Young Classic tournament. You want her to break off of just being known for that. You know what I mean? Like, and just introduce, just like any story, any book, any movie, you're introducing a new character to it. You know?
And I thought it was well produced. It showcases her more, and it actually, to me, made her more of a badass just with her background.
And if people argue the story type thing, Logan, look what UFC does. Look what MMA in general does. They do a great job of the pre and post match stuff, getting to know the guy's backgrounds.
Yes.
You could even do it like that if you want your realism. There you go. It's still possible.
Yes, and NXT produces that on almost every single wrestler. We've seen it all night tonight. You know, mentioning 16 years of Aleister Black. Mentioning the War Raiders, you know, like the motorcycle accident. Mentioning in the video package for about, you know, her background in gymnastics and other things that she did.
Bianca Belair.
Yeah. And I liked it. I like the fact that they're actually using real life stuff for their background and helping to build their character even more.
It's the reality era, pal.
And that's the reality. We need more of that with some of these talents. Like Bobby Roode, that's another thing. I really don't ever hear them mentioning anything of his background and what he used to do before WWE. Yeah. They don't do it anymore.
Why is he glorious? Even, okay, when they brought in Ted DiBiase in the 80s, okay, and they shot segments with him. I know this is old, but it works today. He got his name in Mid-South, okay? That's why he got noticed by the company and signed, by doing a totally different character. Even as a heel, kinda, and when he was a heel down there, it wasn't this over-the-top $1 million man. So you can make up a guy's background because it's wrestling. At least give an effort.
Yes.
You know?
But lately, with the stuff that they actually mention that actually is real life stuff that's happened to them, makes them more of a badass in the long run. And some of the fake stuff that they even give to your character and say your background that's never really happened, just doesn't really make them, you know, a badass. Like, one thing that makes Bobby Lashley a badass, for example, is you know, he is a former Marine. I think that also helps his character in the long run too.
Not even that.
And they never mentioned that back in the day, did they? When, like, 2006.
They did back then when he first debuted. They actually did. They thought they did a better job than they actually did. They didn't do a great job of building up Lashley, but they focused on him being a former Marine back then or whatever. Like a Ranger, some elite shit. But now you have footage of him from when he was in, Affliction or whatever MMA promotion. I know it's Impact when he was a champion, so I don't know the technicalities of them being able to use that footage. But there's other stuff he's done now. You don't need to... It's like they're making up stories for the wrong guys that they shouldn't be. It's all backwards in a way.
It is backwards. DMX says, War Raiders' new finisher. power bomb with a second rope senton or a crossbody.
Yeah, I like the crossbody. I think that's a winner.
Yeah, I like that idea. But for me, I think a power bomb, and you know how the one move where they did the power bomb, but it was a clothesline. Instead of that, I want him to hold him on the shoulders and hit the crossbody while he's still on the shoulders, and then hit the power bomb while he's, like that.
Yeah.
I like that idea. That's
kind of like LOD style.
Exactly. We didn't mention EC3's match, by the way.
Go ahead.
EC3 did have a match against Eichner.
Fabian Eichner.
Yep.
The Italian hero.
I liked him. I actually liked him in that match. He worked well with EC3. I did like the crossbody that he did outside the ring. But there was a story into a story in this match, because Johnny Gargano came out with the paper that he signed for his match against Tommaso Ciampa for NXT TakeOver for the street fight. And he got on the microphone saying it's signed and all that, and you saw the smirk on EC3's face. And also, again, Nigel McGuinness on commentary says, well, it looks like EC3 is pretty upset because he was kind of outshined during his match.
Yeah. Now I could see him costing Gargano, and that could be a way to get Ciampa out of the Gargano feud and gets Gargano in a new feud and finally turns EC3 heel like he should have been.
And I also agree with what a lot of people have said. They want to see Tommaso Ciampa in the NXT title scene against Aleister Black.
Oh, yeah. I could see that, too. Definitely.
Because they did tease it, a couple weeks ago when Tommaso Ciampa attacked Gargano.
Yeah.
And we haven't been able to really do the show lately about it, so. But I like that they're adding a story into a match, and also, hinting at the future. And I see money with Gargano versus EC3 in the future. A lot of people has mentioned, Gargano, after this feud, there's nothing left for him to do in NXT. He should be called up. I don't think so.
He's never won a singles title, and there's a brand new mid-card title now. There's plenty he can still do. Don't rush it. Please don't rush him onto the main roster, people.
No, please do not.
Don't you want to be good?
There's too many feuds that's left for him to do. Adam Cole, Aleister Black. I can still see Gargano and Aleister Black again.
Yeah.
There's plenty of feuds left for him to do. I mean, yes, the Tommaso Ciampa feud with him is important. It's something that you have to focus on right now. But I don't think that's the ending for him in NXT by any means.
No, I think there's more to do. I agree. And there is more to do on our end, though, with the main event, and EC3 obviously getting the win. That was actually a better match. I agree with what you said. Just because it's getting late and weird. I didn't know we were going this long. It's main event time.
Yep. Go ahead. Dakota Kai versus Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's title. Wow. Like you said it, this match was actually good.
It was damn good. This was a pay-per-view quality match. I feel like takeover quality match. I liked it. I mean, it could have gone a little longer. Had it been on a takeover, I think it would have definitely.
Yes. A lot of people are underestimating what Dakota Kai can do. She did really well in this match.
Yeah. Yeah, I never doubted it because we've seen her in the Mae Young Classic. I've seen her from Shimmer. I've seen her from the Indies. I know she's really good. I knew this was going to be like the breakout performance of the Angle so far because all the weeks and we've seen with just bullying and beating the shit out of her, hurting her arm. it was time to pull the trigger and finally do what they never did with Bayley. It felt like forever. Is show some intensity. You fight back. Bayley, remember for months last year, Logan, on the main roster, she just kept taking shit. Remember, she was in a weapons match and she wouldn't use the weapons.
Yes, you need to utilize your talent and not make them look weak. And
Layers.
that's what they have done with Bayley for so long now.
Yeah.
And they need to give her an attitude, and that's another thing why a lot of people do not like Finn Balor's smile all the time. Give us a reason why we should like Finn Balor in a different way than, oh, he's a smiling face.
Why do most people, I don't want to say hate, but like Superman's usually, some people do, but usually everyone's like, he's cheesy, blah, blah, because they only ever really showed. Now, I know tons of shit's happened in the comics, but when you picture Superman in your head, you picture this smiling, cheesy, good guy, because that's just how he was portrayed so early for so long. So it's like, Batman's so popular because he has so many layers. He's depressed, and he's angry, and he's happy, and it's all this shit. So, you know what I mean? It's no different. And it's a medium, it's entertainment, it's a story. You're telling stories with wrestling. If it's on television, it's different from just going to a house show or an indie show. This is a weekly program where there's got to be story arcs, character development, something, a reason to give a shit, basically.
Yeah, and Dakota Kai is giving us that now, because for weeks and weeks she was like, oh, I don't want the same thing to happen to me that happened to me 2 months ago. And now that she's like found this new attitude, like, I'm not gonna let you bully me around. Sometimes the bullying storyline can work if you do it in the right way. Shayna Baszler is the bully, and everyone else is that little scared kid that gets bullied and his money taken away. Shayna Baszler takes your wrestling weeks away. Like, you know, I'm gonna attack you, I'm gonna beat you down, I'm gonna take you out. You're gonna be gone for a couple weeks.
And it works with Shayna Baszler, Logan. Why? Because they went out of their way to tell you Shayna Baszler's background when she first came in, all her success, her dominance, the vignettes. They went out of their way to show layers to her, and that's why this bullying angles worked, as opposed to, why should we care about Nia Jax? Why is she dominant? Why is she important other than she's related to The Rock? Is what it feels like there. And now that's a fucking mess. That's borderline damaged goods with Nia now. They fucked that up. They fucked Asuka up. They're still doing a great job with these ladies right now, especially with what we saw after Logan. Obviously, Shayna Baszler. Well, let's talk about the finish real quick, okay? That's Dakota Kai's finish she went for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was the one thing in the match that you could say it was botched, but I will say they did a good job saving it, how she got her into, the Coquina Clutch or whatever her move is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that was a little borderline sloppy, but they saved it. They did a good job. She got the win, and then down came Nikki Cross because Baszler attacked her after the match. Nikki Cross, tremendous right here. Gets a great reaction. It was funny as shit. She stole the belt. She ran up and snuck it. It was like Repo Man, Logan, stealing people's belts.
She was Repo Man, and she was badass. She is what Dean Ambrose should be. That's sad.
It's sad, but it's true. It's so true. It's weird right now to see her like high-fiving fans. I got to get used to that. Maybe we couldn't do that if she could just stop doing that. I don't know what it is. She's just a character they didn't need to change. Don't change anything. It'll get over just as much as Babyface. Like Mankind.
Yeah, like Mankind. Also, welcome OJ to the chat. He's also in here. And he said he brought pizza.
Juice. The juice. Hell yeah, I love pizza. Welcome.
And Kuzan says Nikki Cross is one of the greatest females ever.
She's one of the best females I've ever seen at her gimmick. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. And the one thing that I'm saying this in a nice way. I'm not saying this in like a mean way, but she's a crazy bitch.
Timestamp.
She is legit a crazy bitch in a good way for the character, and Did you see Baszler's face and when she was sitting in the corner after what happened?
Yeah. Yeah, she sold it pretty well.
She was like, what the fuck and who is this? She was like, there's a crazier bitch than me.
And then Nikki Cross goes over and she just kept going, Dakota! And she's right beside her, but she's screaming her name, and she like hands her the belt, makes her the official Earl Hebner, I guess, for the moment. Hits her finisher, and then Dakota Kai pins her. She's not the champion, but it was a fun way to end the segment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes it gives her that crazy feel like I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen in the future in a crazy way. That is what is Nikki Cross the one to take the title off Baszler?
I don't know. I think maybe Dakota Kai will probably it'll come full circle.
It could possibly.
Got Lacey Evans too. You could start that feud. Dakota Kai, Lacey Evans would be a great feud for that title. Be a good matchup.
Yes.
I try to stay positive on the women's division because, I mean, at least the women's division in NXT is always, every time people think they rate all the talent for the main roster, it's always been pretty decent because they had that 32 women's tournament. So there's plenty of women.
Yeah, and haven't they signed like majority of them now?
And I was literally about saying, look what's on the way. They just signed the most popular indie women's wrestler in the world, Toni Storm, this week. And, God, I'm gonna fuck her name up. I'm gonna fuck her name up so bad. Lo Shiari. I'm just gonna guess that's how you say it. So come at me.
I don't know how to say it. I was gonna ask you the same thing.
New Japan marks. Get your pitchforks and set your bonfires.
And apparently, her name's gonna change.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. And
get like they did just instead of Kairi Hojo's Kairi Sane, they'll just tweak it something.
Yeah.
Which is weird because, you know, you have Sami Zayn and Kairi Sane. It's like Zayn and Zayn's a fucking... What the hell?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Kuzan says, Nikki... She's the... Like I said, the greatest female ever. He also said, not just in wrestling, but in women in general. Sexy look. I'm gonna take your hands with your fingers still attached.
He said that they don't do those, WWE Divas. Yeah, I said Divas. Those calendars videos anymore with the bathing suits and Nikki Cross and Nia Jax be featured.
Oh my gosh, no. No. Don't do that.
Well, what's done is done, Logan.
Yeah.
By the way, congratulations. Successful title defense. We didn't even bring it up. The biggest pay-per-view of the year was this week. Hickey Mania. Congrats, man.
Thank you. My power bomb is very vicious.
A little banged up? Feel okay?
Yeah, I feel phenomenal.
You're juicing again. You're taking steroids again. Don't lie to me, Logan.
Nope. You can ask Vader how that back feels.
Vicky Pro's drug-free, damn it. Better not be. We'll strip you of that belt.
No.
In a second.
Not happening.
Man, this was great to be able to do a show with you. It's been far too long. Good stuff, man. Love NXT. Love what they're doing. I'm excited for the UK NXT stuff. And TakeOver Chicago. Big stuff on the horizon.
Yes, actually, for everyone that does not know, NXT TakeOver Chicago will be June 16th, falling on a Saturday Night Myers that is officially on GrappleVision. And the announcement is the NXT TakeOver post-show for that night will be live on GrappleVision. So,
boom!
Be prepared for that. OJ says, so basically they want longevity. I can't even say it. I can't even talk today.
Longevity?
Longevity out of Cross, so this keeping her in NXT probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, they don't want to run the well dry yet of all the established women. They want to keep her there for a little while, I feel like, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Sanity's obviously never going to fucking debut, so...
Well, speaking of that, it is NXT. Did you hear why they haven't debuted yet?
No.
Apparently what I read was the reason why we haven't seen Authors of Pain lately and the debut of Sanity is because they do not have anything for them right now. So why did you bring them to the main roster?
Yeah. because they just can't help themselves.
If you had nothing for them.
Because that's what's expected now on the Raw after WrestleMania. It is expected to have surprises, and when there's always a surprise expected, guess what? It stops being a surprise. And this might have been the most lackluster Raw after Mania in recent memory. Nothing was, like, huge in a way, you know what I mean? You got Bobby Lashley. How's that working?
Which is okay. I think he's going to have a good match against Sami Zayn. But, so, your biggest tag team, as of late, Authors of Pain, gets rid of their manager. You have nothing for them, but you have stuff for No Way Jose.
Yeah, because WWE, LOL.
Do not understand.
It's entertainment, pal. They don't come out there dancing. Vince doesn't want them. It's that simple. You gotta have a gimmick. I guess. Jesus.
I don't understand. Kuzan says, fucking UK, dirty Brits. What are they good for? And then he also means, you mean TNA aren't hiring? OJ's got a good point, and I think we both agree with this. Get rid of creative. If you can't come up with shit and do your job is to write, then goodbye.
Exactly. If my toilet's fucking broke, right? I hire a plumber, he comes over and he makes it worse, and there's like, he breaks another pipe or something, and there's more shitty mess. I guess what I'm going to do? I'm not going to keep hiring that plumber.
No.
Because now my house smells like shit.
Exactly.
That's all I got.
I just, for some reason, do not understand why you call up No Way Jose, a guy that's, but your biggest tag team that you've had in recent memory with the Authors of Pain, and you got nothing for them.
I hope the grand plan is to have them go to SmackDown and assist Samoa Joe and be stable finally.
I wouldn't mind that at all. But then you announce Sanity to be on the main roster on SmackDown, and you got nothing for them.
They haven't even shown up yet, and you got nothing for them. That's always good. Just like Emelina, all over again.
So apparently, what I was also reading was they might end up knocking them right back down to NXT and not even have them debut on SmackDown yet. Oh. Good. And then
our bad. Let's have them back.
And apparently, before we get off here, I know it's getting late, but I also read something. I don't know if you read the same thing as I did, but apparently the reason why Tyler Breeze and
Fandango.
No, it was just Tyler Breeze. Oh. Tyler Breeze came back down to the NXT to do a match. Apparently, they're going to start booking the guys to go right back down to NXT. Oh, it was the Revival also did a match against the Undisputed Era.
That was a one-off. That was different. They aren't going. Well, I don't think that.
Apparently, if it's not working out for them, they're gonna start sending guys right back down so they can try to fix their character and repackage them.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. That's why it's there. I mean, let's be real.
You don't need to repackage the Revival, for instance.
No, but you need to get their momentum back. You need to have them go back and have kick-ass matches again.
You do need them, yeah, exactly. Kuzan says Roman should take AOP and AOP batter Rollins.
I agree. I could see that too. I'll take either choice at this point, honestly. Something with AOP that's relevant.
OJ says, nah, Reigns leading a heel chest protector stable with AOP.
And fucking D'Lo Brown, and goddamn, who else had one? Virgil had a nose protector. Damn it. I thought he had chest. I don't know. Somebody else with a chest protector.
Kuzan says, I think it's good having guys go to NXT like Cesaro. OJ says, you're joking, Kuzan. Cesaro's on fire with Sheamus.
Is he?
I mean, they were.
Weren't they just in a food fight?
No, they wasn't in a food fight. They were.
I thought they were in that segment.
No, Cesaro and Sheamus is on SmackDown. They had 6-man tag team against New Day teaming up with The Miz.
I watched zero WWE television this week besides NXT.
That 6-man tag team match was badass, by the way.
Nice. That's just
Very
how fed up I
badass.
am now with it. Just need a break.
Everyone needs that break at some point. But like I said, the Revival and apparently Tyler Breeze, you didn't even need to send Tyler Breeze down. I don't understand.
Yeah. I can't figure him out anymore. I'm giving up.
That tag team was actually working, especially with them having those nice little segments and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
it's working, so let's just stop doing it for no reason and then have him lose all the time.
Because what is Fandango gonna do by himself in the long run? Nothing. Keep him a tag team. You need tag teams. You need to build them more you need to build them more. Yeah. But I don't know. But I guess Travis.
You're right. I agree.
But
they're there for a reason. Why do you call them up to do nothing with them? It never will make sense to me.
No, you shouldn't have even announced Sanity to come up. If you didn't have anything for them, why would you even promote them coming up?
And now all you did was spoil the fucking surprise on top of it.
Exactly. Kuzan's got a point, but at the same time, I think I don't know. He says Ziggler to send Ziggler to NXT, but one last thing before we go off air. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler together. Is it going to help both of them or one or the other?
I would do it like Ziggler's. I don't want to say passing the torch, but he's the veteran, so he's kind of helping. I don't know, like his big buddy is like the new guy. So I don't know. Maybe I want to think Ziggler's winding it down in ring a little bit, and it's a good way to get a rub onto McIntyre. But
it's still doesn't need it.
I know you're a fan of the pairing or whatever. I still don't get the pairing. It's Ziggler. McIntyre doesn't need anybody. I think, you know what I think they'll do? He'll probably just end up attacking Ziggler. Especially, we keep seeing Dolph Ziggler in these cell phone commercials during NXT where he's like this nice, lovable, wacky guy as a babyface. So.
I could see McIntyre turning on Ziggler, and that actually helps set up Drew McIntyre as a bigger heel, and maybe we could actually get a good Ziggler face turn for once. Even though he's not terrible as a heel. I mean, I think nowadays any wrestler is better as a heel.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of stale performers. There's certain guys that I see that is going to succeed, and there's guys that you just still question. Now that you don't have anything for Sanity and AOP, to end my statement is, since you don't have anything for them, it makes them more irrelevant than before.
Yeah, you're shooting yourself in the foot, basically, is what they did when they did that.
You are the WWE is literally doing a Plaxico Burress and shooting themselves in the legs.
Yeah. Did somebody say that in the chat?
No, I said that.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
That was actually a me.
I don't have the chat up. Well done, Logan.
And that was years ago. I can't believe I remember that. But I guess the final thing that we're going to say from what the chat says is Kuzan says that he hates Drew because he's the same stale gimmick. I hate the fake shoot. I'm real, you're a fake bullshit. He's like bubblegum you've been chewing on for months.
No way. The guy's money. Sorry, Kuzan.
OJ says Plaxico fucking Burris. I mean, at least I didn't do a Michael Vick reference.
Oh, God.
Dogs fighting. I mean, hey. But, no, I guess we can end it there.
Boom.
I love it. I love what they're doing with some of the guys, and then the only person in Sanity that's even relevant now is Nikki Cross at the end of the day.
That's the only person relevant?
Right now, in the group.
Oh, Insanity. I thought you meant NXT.
No.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
OJ asked, Logan, are you doing Wake Up with Logan Myers tomorrow? Unfortunately, I can't do it tomorrow. I have 2 doctor's appointments tomorrow, so...
You should do them live from the doctor's office.
Oh, jeez. I'll be in the swimming pool tomorrow, Travis. Come on.
Get a waterproof phone.
But no, OJ messaged me before we head out. Kuzan is, in all caps, McIntyre is amazing. Couldn't be any happier.
Oh, man.
I see big things with him, but that's just me. And I guess Kuzan.
There you have it. What a night.
What a night it's been. Back in the saddle again. Next level with Travis and I. Wow. It's been what? A month and a half? 2 months now?
At least. At least. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, but Travis, thank you for coming on once again.
Most definitely, I will see you this week on Hibiki Pro under the big lights.
Yep, I will be there. So
you better be. You're the champ.
I am the champ. I'm never losing it. But again, Travis, thank you for coming on. Go ahead and plug yourself to the good peoples.
As always, follow me on Twitter at the HibikiTMD. Check me out on YouTube, HibikiTMD. Check out Slam Pigs podcast, with my buddy Kuzan, who's in the chat right now. We cover Raw and SmackDown weekly. Haven't done it in a while because I haven't watched. That's all on me, but like I said earlier, I'm burnt out on it. It's coming back, though. Have no fear. It's a reset button retro gaming. Never drew a dime. Retro recap pro wrestling show. Hibiki Pro with Logan is a hit. Slam Pigs Union Smack with my buddy Matt Tennant. All the goodness. Thank you again, Logan.
Thank you. And again, everyone, June 16th, NXT TakeOver Post Show will be live on Grapple Vision for our Saturday Night Myers. So be out to look for that. And Wake Up with Logan Myers will be officially debuting with my co-host OJ, who is actually in the chat. So thank you, OJ. Thank you for everyone in the chat that was that commented. We had DMX. We had OJ, Kuzan. Thank you all for being our fans.
Good sports. Let's call them good sports this week.
Sports.
Thank you guys for being good sports and putting up with our silliness.
Exactly. And my Plaxico Burress references. Thank you.
Plaxico Burress references.
But thank you guys. And see you guys next week. Actually, see you on Saturday Night Myers. It's the next show. Have a good night, guys.
Later.